As many of you know, Stephanie Miller's tour, the Sexy Liberal Saves the World tour culminates this Saturday in D.C., the 18th, and there is a pay-per-view, so you've got to check out the sexyliberal.com, and one of the incredible comedians on the show, okay, I'm going to dork out again, but it's John Fugelsang joins us on the air.
Hey,
John, how are you doing tonight, my friend?
Oh, guys, thank you so much for lowering your show down to my level. What a pleasure. Isn't it great? We can't afford eggs. Let's buy Greenland. That's America. I love it. I did not think we could have a greater metaphor for America than one of Elon's micro-penis trucks exploding in front of a Trump hotel. But, friends, I think the greatest metaphor for America is that we are about to inaugurate a racist on MLK's holiday. It doesn't get more American than that.
Yeah.
We can all go home now. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
No, we found a better one. There's a place by here that does.
Not a bad thing. Guys, not a bad thing. That's America, right? This is the same country that you know, slave owners who wanted to be free. This is the same country that the same document that says all men are created equal says merciless Indian savages, right? America's always been these two things. Always. And on Monday the 20th, everyone gets to choose. Do I want to be on the MLK side, or do I want to be on the comb over Caligula side? It's totally fine.
But there's a place
talking yourself off a ledge tour.
But there's a place by here that does chicken fingers with fruity pebbles on them, though.
Yeah.
So that may be the most American thing yet.
Well, I'm glad Trump will have a place to eat in the
May he eat them all.
What are your plans? Well, I know you'll be in D.C. on the 18th. Are you getting there early? There's a People's March, and then, of course, a victory rally the next day. There's so much for you to do on this trip to D.C.
Yeah.
I know. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I mean, honestly, like, some folks were really kind of down and thought, like, oh, why are you still doing the show if it's going to be Trump inaugurated? I had one guy say to me, no, man, it's not funny anymore, okay? Like, seriously, it's not funny anymore. And I was like, I know. That's why it's more important than ever.
Tell me you're not Jewish without telling me you're not Jewish.
I made a decision to go to New Orleans on Inauguration Day and then plan to be drunk and or high for 4 days. I haven't decided yet.
Do both.
Or both.
Very nice. Well, I'll be here in D.C. looking under the boot heels of people to see if I can see the Scarboroughs or Elon Musk or whoever else is groveling. Oh, Lindy Lee, I didn't see you under a rock. Wow. You know, now that we're in the Weasley Surrender Chronicles period of the Great Capitulation, let's have some fun with it. Look, Donald Trump's not going to suddenly become a good guy. He's not going to become smart or honest. He's not going to become less racist, and his previous crimes and corruptions and stealing from people with fraud, universities and foundations, and his sexual assault of women aren't going to be erased. This is going to be a bloody mess, and it's going to be 4 years that I'm calling the We Told You show. And it's really important for liberals to not be smug bastards, even though it's going to feel really good every day.
This is what I'm struggling with. So walk me through the We Told You show tour without sounding smug, because I don't know that I have that muscle.
I don't have that
muscle of not sounding smug.
Listen, you guys are all smarter than me. You know it's never going to go back to being the way it was a resistance before. It's going to be a different kind of opposition. And right now, our friends who are Democrats are still, many of them, finger-pointing and circular firing squadding and burying their heads in the sand and blame gaming. I would say by January 21st, I think everyone's going to be smacked back into the present moment and realize what we have to deal with here. And I have an incredible amount of faith in the American people and in the fact that these guys are not good at being fascists. They are going to screw up. Bush and Cheney weren't good at being fascists. That's the greatest blessing of America, is that our fascists, the stupid is always greater than the evil. I call them Dim Shady, and it always works out this way. So they're going to try all this bad stuff, but their incompetence will be greater than their evil. And that incompetence has been what saved our republic from the beginning.
Wow.
Okay, I do feel better. He was right about talking me off the ledge.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm off the ledge.
Are you off the ledge?
I want a T-shirt, John. Can you trademark that?
Look, here's what it is. During the pandemic, here's how it is. Like, America, view America as a woman who was dating an awful, abusive guy. And then during the pandemic, she finally kicked him out. And she got stronger. Mm-hmm. And she got healthier. And she got better looking over 4 years. She got a lot better with her finances over 4 years. She began to heal. But something happened. We've seen this before. And America got back together with her abusive ex. He came back, new promises. He promised her cheaper groceries and 11 million deportations, and he gaslit her all over again, and she fell for it. It's tragic, but she's she's going to find out what's really going on. And there was no mandate. Can I remind you, he lost the majority vote in 2016, 2020, and 24. That's a mandate. When the majority of people who show up to vote against you 3 elections in a row, that's the only mandate we got here.
Now, you have, going back to the illegal immigrants or undocumented or people who, now, because there are states like Missouri is offering $1,000 for people to report somebody.
How about simplify and just refer to them as people Donald Trump hires? People Donald Trump hires because he doesn't want to pay Americans a real living wage.
Right.
That's the only story here.
Mike
yes, that's it. Nobody's going to.
These Republicans wanted undocumented border crossings to stop. They would start locking up the white people who do all the hiring. There is a gigantic help wanted sign in our border. No Republicans want to take it down. They like having an exploitable, marginalized labor force that works backbreaking labor under minimum wage so Americans aren't asking for decent living wages and benefits. The Republican Party is never going to chase this labor force away. There will not be 11 million deportations. There won't be 500,000 deportations. It's all a racist scam. They sell the racism to the voters, but they like the donations from those job creators. They're never going to take down the help wanted sign. And if they did start locking these people up, they'd have to start with Donald Trump, the only guy who ran for president this year in either party, who has hired undocumented aliens in 2 different centuries to save a buck and avoid paying a worker in America.
Yeah,
it's all a scam.
By the way, I had to, someone just texted at me, Trump won the 24 popular vote. Folks, he won less than 50%.
Plurality, it was less than 50%.
Less than 50% of the vote. 3 elections in a row. The majority of these lazy Americans who showed up to vote said no to Trump's agenda. 3 elections in a row.
Oh, my God, there's so many things happening. Now, what are your thoughts? I don't know if you saw this news that Bloomberg and some other outlets are reporting that the owners of TikTok are considering sale of TikTok to Elon Musk. Have you heard this news yet?
Yeah, I mean, who's leaked that? We'll see. I don't really see China doing that. I also think that now that Trump is being bribed by China, he's not going to be against TikTok. He already has flip-flopped on that.
He flipped on that a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if Biden does wind up banning it, watch for Trump to bring it back in no time. Because, again, Donald Trump literally had a secret Chinese bank account while he was serving as president. Donald Trump was literally being paid by the Chinese government while he was serving as president. And our media, for whatever reason, is not allowed to talk about these things because it's not as interesting as Blake Lively's lawsuit with Justin Baldoni. So, I mean, he's going to do whatever China wants. He's an authoritarian puppet.
Yeah, no, it is. I do feel like we by the way, this is Monday School with John Fugelsang.
Yes.
Hi. Yes. But by the way, the show this weekend will be a lot funnier than me drunkenly ranting. But here, I want you to know, Jamie Raskin is going to join us this weekend on the big show, and we're very happy to have Congressman Raskin joining us for another Sexy Liberal show. I believe George Conway is going to be there. Olivia Troy, Officer Harry Dunn will be there. It's going to be a riot. And me, Hal Sparks, and Frangela doing stand-up, and that's at the Warner in D.C. this weekend. If you can't be in D.C. because you're in Chicago like a sane person, if you're in D.C., come, because every decent person in D.C. who can spell the word "your" correctly will be at our show that night.
I want to be in that crowd. That's a good crowd to be in. I'm just saying.
Well, go to meethook.com, MEET, hook.com to watch the pay-per-view, but I think you're going to be having too much fun in New Orleans for this.
I am going to have a lot of fun. I have plans. I have a lot of plans. You also have a book coming out this summer, Separation of Church and Hate. I haven't seen that much Christian stuff lately about what God wants, although I'm not on that side of TikTok or other social medias, but I'm not seeing a lot in regards to what this white Christian nationalism has in mind for their eggs being cheaper.
Well, let me tell you, what they did is they elected Caligula. And the last time the fake Christians voted for Caligula, God sent a plague. I'm watching these bird flu numbers very closely, children. I'm becoming more of an Old Testament Christian every year watching these rat bastards because, the very act of electing Donald Trump, I mean, there is no – I don't want to get too preachy here, but my book's full title is Separation of Church and Hate, A Sane Person's Guide to Taking the Bible Back from Fascists, Fundamentalists, and Flock-Fleecing Frauds. Those are the 3 core constituencies of Christians that put Caligula back into power, and they fight for, 0 of the actual things Jesus talked about. You know what really screwed us up forever in this country? They were able to convince Christians that they should vote against everything Jesus ever talked about to ban abortion, which Jesus never talked about. Right. And that's it. Abortion was the issue that destroyed the actual teachings of Christ, and fortunately, MAGA's never read the book, so they won't know what a woke cuck Jesus turned out to be.
Mm-hmm. I heard all of these same things from heavy metal singers in the 90s. Heavy metal singers were right about these fundamentalist guys.
Yep.
All of them. None of them. They all fight for stuff that they think is in the Bible,
right,
like being cruel to transgender children or persecuting migrants or, G'ing women by the pee. I don't know. Hating gay people, forcing women to be pregnant by rape against their will. But the actual stuff that Jesus commands, Matthew 25, and here's where I'm going to lose all the hip people. Matthew 25, the judgment of nations. Like the Sermon on the Mount is Jesus' Woodstock. Matthew 25 is his Live Aid. He goes global, and he says, in this piece, who's going to heaven and who's not. Jesus gives his criteria for who's a follower of his, and he says it. He says, this is the one where did you welcome me? Well, I was hungry. Did you feed me? I was thirsty. And then the people who care for him did. They said, when did we see you thirsty or homeless? When you didn't do it for the least of us, you didn't do it for me. Jesus' marching orders are this: individuals and nations must take care of the poor. Individuals and nations must take care of the sick. Individuals and nations must be kind to those in prison, and individuals and nations must welcome the stranger. And that's it. Yeah. Jesus gives his marching orders in 4 things. Nothing about abortion, nothing about how you scream at women outside clinics, nothing about how your religion's better than the others or how often you go to church. He gave 4 rules: the poor, the sick, the prisoner, the immigrant. And MAGA can't wait to crap on all 4.
This is what I struggle with because I have a very complicated religious background. I think we talked about it before. I was raised.
I think we all do.
I was raised Mormon, baptized Mormon, and then confirmed Lutheran, and got married in the Catholic Church. Oh, see, there you go. Okay. And my mom was a Buddhist briefly. Anyway,
so the Catholic Church must have seemed really laid back and liberal to you at the time.
I don't know. I was like, they get snacks. Although I will say that at the Lutheran Church, like it was like a cognac for the body and blood. Oh, the blood was very tasty, a little sweet. I know, it was delicious. I love being an acolyte because they let girls be acolytes at the time in the 80s. At any rate, what I have finally, I feel like I'm glad that I lived long enough to understand, because I'll be honest with you, I had a little bit of a nervous breakdown when I found out there were atheists. Like I had no idea. I had never seen one until I dated one in college.
So did I.
Right?
Yeah.
Wasn't
it's
that
like,
freakish?
what is wrong with you?
No, that wasn't.
Then I realized that the atheists were some of the best Christians. And
Absolutely.
Christians were some of the most godless people. But go on.
But I was terrified because the idea that there might not be a heaven or an afterlife, because in the Mormon Church you're taught about spending eternity with your family, like that whole like having gathering righteous souls and all that stuff. Yeah. I had never met anybody who didn't believe in heaven, or at least didn't talk about it. But what I've learned since then, to your point, is I believe in the teachings of Christ, but this religion stuff it's insane.
Bonkers.
Yeah.
Bonkers.
Yeah. It's kind of what my book's about. That's why I can't wait to be banned in Florida. But yeah, I mean,
it doesn't take much these days.
No.
But you don't get any.
When Rome took over.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The books of mine that sold like 12 copies have been banned in Florida. They're on a list with another 1,400 books, so you don't get any publicity out of it anymore.
Congratulations.
Oh, man. Well, I'm still trying. Don't fault the kid for trying. It's only my first time.
But yeah, I mean, we really have it's always been about control and manipulation. I mean, we look at the Crusades, the wars, all the things where people have been slaughtered, taken advantage of, the plundering basically of humans, of land, of governments, and it's just, and the fact that, like, again, to your point about Trump being Caligula, I mean, it still astounds me. I'll never stop being surprised. It's probably better to continue to be surprised, right? I mean,
yes.
Right?
I think so.
I think.
I mean, what do you mean by surprise? Like, you mean like wake up every morning in a sense of dread of what racist stuff would the president say today? You understand what happened to me in 2017? I was raising a toddler while my country was electing one. Do you understand? Everything we tell a boy not to do. Don't lie. Respect women. Do your homework. Don't be racist. Don't launder money for the Russians with New York real estate. Everything we tell a child not to do.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I was telling the story earlier about I was on the air on WGN radio. I was a host on overnights, and I had to be on the air when he took the stage. And Ken and I were both talking about how I thought he was going to win until the day before. I joined the White Pants Suit Nation, White Suit Nation, and I bought a white suit, which I'm never going to wear again because I wore it again this year at the DNC.
Sure did.
Yeah.
On an election night, so that's probably not a good idea. But anyway, not my fault.
No mojo there.
But I had told my son, I finally felt like I felt like surely this country wasn't going to let this happen. And as I tucked him into bed, he was like, I think he was 12. I was like, it's going to be okay. We're going to wake up and everything's going to be fine. I was telling folks I stayed in the green room and drank rum straight out of the bottle because I didn't know what I was going to tell him when I got home. Because I
don't remember what I was drinking in the green room, but I remember it was a lot of it. I had walked there so I could, I stumbled home.
I was drinking Franzia and yelling at everyone when they said, we're out, to tip it.
Right.
Tip it.
Well,
you got to tip it and tap it.
Wow. Well, I will say this time around, I'm following people who say that Democrats and liberals need to start working out. What are your preparations for the next 4 years, John?
Who, me? I mean, well, my book is my Project 2025, but my preparations for the next 4 years really are, I'm not going to say his name as much.
Okay.
Smart.
And I think we all know a lot of nice liberal people who found just the horror and a reason for being, and I was never interested in that. I grew up in New York. We've always known that Donald Trump was a fraud. I mean, New Yorkers know that he's just like this gauche, trashy thing that tourists. He's like Pizza Rat. You understand? Like for New Yorkers, like he's that thing. He's our tourist attraction. And so I'm going to try to be nice to people. I'm going to try to be kind to people. When it comes to Trump supporters, I don't hate anyone. I'm not good enough to hate anybody. So I like to just ask questions. Rather than fight, I just like to ask them questions like, where was Barack Obama born? Things like that. What I'm going to remember to do is, here's the thing. It's easy to just lock yourself in your room and give up and give into despair, and that's not living, and that's not resisting, and that's not liberal, and that's not American. Despair is privilege.
Yes.
If you could stay home and hide from the world and shut down your life, then you must be really lucky and really rich. The rest of us have got to get out there and live and just try to be a good person. Like the same stuff we'd be fighting for if Harris was president is the same stuff we're still fighting for. So just get out there, and America needs good people. America needs to be reminded that there are decent, empathetic people who care. So be that person and restore somebody else's faith. If you've lost all hope, then give somebody else hope. And whatever you do, don't watch the inauguration. You don't have to watch it. You don't have to watch it.
Geez, I'll be in a car, thank goodness.
Special on Sirius XM that night. We are not going to talk about it, although I am looking forward to seeing Carrie Underwood's sing her hit, Jesus, Take the Finger, because that'll be a great
Oh, man. All right. So tell folks about catching your show, as well as one more time with the live stream for the Sexy Liberal Tour saves. Wait, are we still saving America? We're doing whatever we can in D.C. on Saturday.
Yeah, well, my show is on Sirius XM. I do the evening programming on Progress. Y'all are invited anytime, by the way, to come and make mischief with us. And then my show is also a free podcast, the John Fugelsang podcast, but you have to be able to spell Fugelsang. I'm sorry. I tried to make it different, but I'm Danish. And then the big show this weekend with Jamie Raskin, who I don't know if you've ever seen him do stand-up. He's freaking hilarious, okay? The guy's Christopher Walken is crazy. But
that's amazing.
Jamie Raskin's going to be joining us this weekend for the last date of our 2024 Stephanie Miller Sexy Liberal Comedy Tour. And again, it's going to be at the Warner Theater in New York and in D.C. with myself, Hal Sparks, the amazingly hilarious African-American comedy duo Frangela, and, of course, Miss Stephanie Miller. And our guests will be George Conway, Olivia Troy, Officer Harry Dunn, and, of course, Congressman Jamie Raskin, with more to be announced. And you can go to watch the pay-per-view live stream on sexyliberal.com or at Meathook, MEET Hook. .com.
Love it.
And folks can pre-order your book, Separation of Church and Hate, A Sane Person's Guide to Taking Back the Bible from Fundamentalist, Fascist, and Flock-Fleecing Frauds. Where's the best place
I like making people say it.
I know, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's an awesome title.
Yeah.
I stumbled. I'm going to be better at next time. I was trying to be fast.
The best place to order that is, of course, through your local independent bookstore if you don't want to help evil billionaires and their crappy websites.
And but the publishers also, Simon & Schuster, have more information on their site, but also local bookstores. Go tell them that you want it so that they have it in stock when it becomes available.
Yeah.
John, thank you so much for Monday School with John. We really appreciate it. The ledge, the window, I have 1 foot off the ledge and 1 foot on. I'm just going to.
Oh, my God. Listen, I'm just so delighted to sit and talk to a few people who aren't going to Mar-a-Lago to bend the knee, kiss the
No, we're not.
I'll tell you.
We're not. Well,
they're all down there licking the boot, and the boot tastes like Scott Jennings' soul. So thank you, guys.
Yep.
Well, I have to say this before we let you go. We met at the DNC, and I'm a very shy and I'm a very humble person, and you kind of lectured me about being so shy and so humble. And you told me to talk about my attributes and all that stuff. I just want you to know I've been doing that, sir.
Nice.
And it has been amazing. So thank you for that little pep talk.
I hope I wasn't rude, but I think I quoted the Bible to you. I said, "Don't keep your light under a bushel." Go out there and be awesome.
You remember? That's exactly what you said. Yes.
I remember the quote. I remember. I was literally. I mean, there's a lot of F word too. I was swearing nonstop.
Yeah,
don't worry, but I'm pretty sure I quoted the Bible.
You did. It was awesome. But thank you. I've been doing that, and it's worked. So thank you so much.
Again,
thank you. Perhaps you can
John,
direct that back to me for my crippling depression sometimes. Thank you.
And from my end, thanks for coming on Dylan Fans for Harris. We really loved having you on that. And
how much fun was that? Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. I felt so honored being a comedian invited to be on the Dylan, because I'm a Dylan freak. Like I've seen Bob Dylan enough times live to end a marriage. You know what I mean? Like
same.
I'm in my 60s.
I did the whole UK tour during the election. I figured I just don't want to be in the country that particular day. And I will say, as we mentioned on the live stream, we don't really know exactly what his politics are. Since then, I've been in his notebooks in Tulsa, and I have a much better idea. But the night of the election in Edinburgh, over the intro to Every Grain of Sand, he just said, "We'll just play here every night from now on. Maybe we ain't going back."
Nice. Wow, I get that right. Yeah.
Now, that's how I felt in Edinburgh that day, too.
Contrarian. Yeah. Bob's politics is contrary. Yeah. He doesn't want to be pigeonholed.
Right, but he's also there's a lot of stuff in the notebooks about corporations and things about right wingers that I can't repeat on the air too.
There you go.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, folks, check out JohnFugelsang.com. Tell me everything with John Fugelsang. Thank you so much, John, for joining us. And oh
my God, I love CPT. Anytime, like, you guys lower your standards enough to let me on the air.
Come on.
Well,
you're letting me on.
And by the way, if Elon Musk can do for America what he did for Twitter, this whole country should be a Nazi chat room by next Friday. So no worries.
Okay, I'm back on the ledge.
I'm jumping.
It's going to be okay. Listen, don't forget, stop and smell the train wreck, people. Stop and smell the train wreck.
That I can appreciate.
And get yourself some chicken fingers with Fruity Pebbles.
There you go.
Yeah. Matt Gaetz is out of Congress, and the report came out, and his followers can't spell OAN. Smile. It's still funny. There's goodness out there.
Oh, man. Thanks, John. I appreciate it. This helped a lot.
Happy New Year, kids.